Hey there, crafty friends. This is Leah Lawson, and I am thrilled to be on the Scrapbook.com YouTube channel again, featuring a super adorable Halloween card this month. To get started, I'm going to build up the background of my card base. I have just a standard top-folding A2 card that I have created from white cardstock. And now I am picking a pattern from the Spooky Patterned Collection. Now this is that A2 size, which is 4¼ by 5½ inches. I absolutely fell in love with that pattern that has the orange and pink pumpkins and the banners and the bats. So now I am trying to find a pink that matches that darkest pumpkin, that darkest shade of pink in the pumpkin. And I think I found it. I am going to check against the very last shade of pink in this paper pad, which I don't know that on my video you're seeing a huge difference, but I do promise there is a difference in shade between that very last one and the second to last, which I chose to go with that second to last shade of pink from the Pink's Smooth Cardstock. I also have a block of ivory glitter cardstock, which is just my go-to neutral that we're going to cut a really fun frame from. So to start, I'm grabbing my two nested dies. Now, from the patterned paper, I will be cutting the A2 rectangle that's just slightly smaller than A2. So it's cutting off about 1/8 of an inch off of each side. And that will allow this lovely yet somewhat busy patterned paper to have a nice pink outline when I layer it together on top of the pink mat. Now you could, of course, always use a paper trimmer to trim this down. I love to use a die because it gives you that nice perfect edge, and it makes sure that your edges are always straight, which doesn't always happen with a paper trimmer. Now up next, I am die cutting that largest frame from the Nested Stitched Zigzag Frames die set. This one I am cutting from ivory glitter. I thought that the zigzag frame was a really good touch for Halloween, kind of a perfect match, and they're one of the newer nested dies from Scrapbook.com, and I just think that they turned out so much fun. So now we're going to build up our card base. So as mentioned, I have a top folding A2 card base that I created off camera, and I am just using some liquid glue to adhere down that A2 sized pink cardstock that I grabbed from the Pink's paper pad first. And I am just covering the entire front of the card base with that. Now I'm going to do the same with that spooky patterned paper block that we cut just slightly smaller using the nested rectangles dies. Now you could pop this up if you wanted to add a little bit of dimension, but I actually am going to add dimension to other elements that we create for this card, so I figured I would let that one be. Now I did already add some foam adhesive strips to the back of this to save that boring time of watching me do that. So, but those are the 1/8 inch foam strips from Scrapbook.com. I have an entire drawer of them, and they are my absolute go-to for foam tape. You're going to watch me fumble around with this a little bit. I think my foam tape got a little bent when I pulled the frame back up, but I don't always like to edit out little mistakes like this from my videos. I think it shows that all crafters make mistakes and fumble around with things, and it shows you that even if you make a little whoopsie here and there, you can always fix it. So no harm, no foul. Everything turned out just great, even though I had a little fumble with adhering it down. So up next, we are going to do some die cutting, but let's grab some shades of pink cardstock from the Pink's paper pad first. I am picking that first shade of pink and then kind of going towards the middle and picking two pinkier shades to use. Now this Halloween card is full of pink. I think that Halloween doesn't always have to be orange and purple and black. I think that you can substitute always. Now we need some white cardstock, some magenta glitter cardstock, and also a piece of black cardstock to do the die cutting. Now I am featuring mostly the Mystic Boo die set. Now look at all of these adorable elements. I'm going to focus on that cute ghost, the bow, and then the sentiment or the scripted sentiment that says the word boo. And we will be die cutting them from all of these different colors. Now the ghost will go with the white cardstock, and then the word boo, we're going to be cutting from that magenta glitter. Now the bow has two pieces. That main, the larger piece, is going to be cut from that mid shade of pink, and then the little inner piece that goes in the center is going to be cut from that piece that's slightly darker. And then finally, the little cheeks for the ghost are going to be cut from that lightest shade of pink. Now the ghost eyes will be cut from black cardstock. Then we're going to grab for the Hey Sugar die set here. And really mostly what we're looking for on this is that word hey. I'm going to go ahead and cut the whole thing from black cardstock. That's what I want the letters to be cut from, just those words, the letters hey. But I'm also going to go ahead and cut out the outline image from white. And even though we're not using that whole Hey Sugar sentiment, you're going to see how I can use the outline to my advantage. Now we're going to go ahead and start prepping the die cutting here. Now I like to die cut as many things as I possibly can with one pass through my die cut machine. Now for small dies like this, I really do like to use my smaller die cut machine. This is my Rose Quartz Scout. It is the exclusive color of the Spellbinder Scout for Scrapbook.com. And as you can see, I am just cutting down all of the little the little pieces of cardstock to basically just fit around the die itself. And that allows me to put as many dies as possible onto the cutting plates, which will let me run these through basically with one pass through my die cut machine. I am securing them in place with a little bit of mint tape, just because as the pressure adjusts, as each die goes through the machine, we don't want them to shift or move on us. So I'm just applying a little bit of mint tape to help keep them in place. Now that's about as full as we can get it. So I'll do the pass of the white cardstock a second time. But I love that this saves me, it saves me some time by cutting as many as I possibly can through one pass. And once again, it's also saving me from repetitive motion injuries as well. So once that is all done, we're going to grab all of the little die cut pieces. Now I have one of these cute little crafting trays from Scrapbook.com. They are a great tool for holding all of your little goodies until you have a chance to start assembling them. Look at how pretty this scripted boo cut from the magenta glitter cardstock. It cut like butter. It's so intricate, but it cut beautifully. And then finally, can't forget those little ghost eyes. They're very tiny, so you definitely want to make sure you put them in a place where you can easily see them. And then finally, we have just the letters to spell out the word hey. So up next, we're going to run the ghost and the Hey Sugar outline die from some white cardstock. And that cardstock piece was a little bit larger anyway, so in general, it was a good 2-pass system for all of those elements. Now, I love on the little ghost how her little arms actually cut out, so you could actually tuck something underneath there that she might be holding. Now, off camera, I die cut 2 extra pieces of the boo die from white cardstock and layered it together with a little bit, giving it a little bit of a shadow. And I actually cut 2 more pieces of the hey word from black cardstock and also glued and layered those together just to save time. Now, I'm using the Grip Mate mat to start to assemble. Now, I know that this is a great tool for ink blending and using in your stamping platform, but I've actually found when you're assembling small dies like this, it's also really great for holding all of your elements in place. And then you can use a metal-tipped glue dispenser like the Barely Arts glue, and then an embellishment tool to glue those little tiny pieces onto your die cut element, like the eyes and the cute little rosy cheeks. Now this bow die from the Mystic Boo die set is so, so cute. I foresee myself using it for a lot more projects in the future. I love that you can do a two-toned bow with, like I did here with the pinks. You could put glitter in the middle. You could do all of the same color. You could even do a multicolor bow if you wanted. Sky's the limit on that. So now I am gluing the black words that say hey, that spell the word hey, and I am putting them and gluing them into place in that shadow layer that I cut from the white cardstock. And then after we get these all glued, you will see how I'm going to utilize this shadow layer to my advantage. I really want it to pop off my card, so I think it's going to be a super fun element for this card. Now I want to glue down that bow on the ghost. I'm just trying to figure out the best place for it. She's pretty small compared to the bow, but I think she's just going to have a big giant bow on her head, and I think it's going to be adorable. So I opted for that upper left corner. I am trying to place it to not let the little bowstrings cover up her eyes, because I definitely want her cute little eyes to show through as well. And then I ripped it right off. So I like to set glue in place on stuff like this with my tweezers, but sometimes that happens. I think my tweezers might need to be cleaned. But this is a great way if you have something that you really need to set up well. If you just put your tweezers on it for a little bit, it works great. Now here is a super easy way to make shadow or outline dies work to your advantage. I didn't want to use the entire Hey Sugar sentiment, so I am just trimming out the word hey so that it has that nice white outline, and it will pop off that really lovely pattern that is on my card. And then you can just toss the excess, because I don't need the rest of it for the sentiment sugar. All right, I'm going to stamp a secondary sentiment for this card. I thought the little owl you doing little question was perfect for the hey boo sentiment. Like, hey boo, how you doing? It just made me giggle, obviously. So I thought it'd be a really fun addition to this card. So I am just stamping it up with some Nocturne VersaFine Clair to white cardstock. And I'm using my Rose Quartz Misty, which is my very favorite stamping platform, and it did a perfect job. Now there are coordinating dies for this stamp set, but I actually don't have them yet. So I was looking through my stash and I found the Wonder and Delight die set, and to my delight, it has these great little strip dies, and they worked perfectly for this sentiment set. So I highly suggest getting the dies, but if you happen to not have them, it's always a great thing to look through your stash and see what you can make and have a make it work moment. And that's exactly what I did, and it ended up working out perfectly for die cutting that little secondary sentiment that I wanted to add to my card today. And look at how cute that is. Now, of course, I could have also trimmed it with a paper trimmer, but I am never as good as that as I am with using a die. So I would just absolutely rather use a die than try to cut it myself. So now we are going to start arranging these cute little elements to our card. I've already added some of that same thin foam tape that I used earlier in the video to the back of the elements that I want popped up. So some elements are going to be glued directly down, mainly this the hey part of the hey boo sentiment. Initially I thought to pop it up, but then I figured we needed to have some highs and lows in terms of dimension on here. So I figured leaving that glued directly down and then popping up the scripted boo would be the better choice. Now, when you do the little shadow layer like I did with that scripted boo word, that also allowed me to have more areas where I could hide that thin foam tape in the back. Now, finally, we are going to adhere that secondary sentiment also popped up with that same foam tape. And how cute is that sentiment? I just love it. Now, finally, I'm only adding a little bit of the foam tape to the top of the ghost, and then I'm going to glue the bottom of her down with some liquid glue just to have a little bit of additional dimension added to the card. How adorable is that? Now, for the final step, I grabbed some magenta glitter drops and placed them just here and there on the background of the card to add a little bit more sparkle, a little bit more glitter, and just a little bit more fun to the card. If you can't have a bunch of glitter and sparkle on a Halloween card, when can you? So that is the final step of this card. I'm just using an embellishment tool and some liquid glue to glue those cute little glitter drops into place. And that is my Hey Boo Halloween card for you. I hope that you enjoyed watching this adorable little card come to life. When it comes to Halloween, I am not much for scary, but I am here for the cuteness, and these adorable sets from Scrapbook.com definitely hit that mark. If you are interested in purchasing anything that I used today, all of that is linked in the video description below. And other than that, I'm so happy that you joined me today. And I can't wait to see what you create with your adorable Halloween products from Scrapbook.com. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.